The chaotic state of the UFC's heavyweight division took another dramatic turn following the unfortunate and abrupt end to UFC 321, prompting a sharp and critical assessment from former champion Jon Jones, who broke his silence on the matter with a characteristically unfiltered take. The main event, which saw Tom Aspinall's first defense of the undisputed heavyweight title end in a no contest after a series of accidental eye pokes from Ciryl Gane, left the future of the division shrouded in uncertainty. With Aspinall's team later revealing the severity of the injury, the champion still struggling with blurred vision in one eye, the promotion is now tentatively planning a rematch for sometime in 2026, a timeline that places the weight class in a state of suspended animation. This void of clarity created the perfect opening for Jon Jones, the man whose retirement in June had paved the way for Aspinall's ascent to the undisputed throne. After maintaining a conspicuous silence on social media in the immediate aftermath of the event, Jones made his first public comments during a recent appearance on the No Scripts podcast, and he did not hold back in his criticism of the reigning champion. While acknowledging Aspinall's athletic gifts, Jones launched a pointed critique of his overall skill set, reducing the British fighter's arsenal to a single, albeit effective, weapon. "I feel Tom's a great athlete, but I feel he's a one-trick pony," Jones stated, delving into a technical breakdown of the short-lived fight. "I believe that his wrestling and jiu-jitsu is incredibly overrated. He has a beautiful 1-2. I got to learn a lot about his patterns in his last fight. A beautiful 1-2, and that's about it." Jones further emphasized his point by analyzing the brief moments of stand-up exchange before the fouls occurred, suggesting that Aspinall was already being outmaneuvered. "He couldn't touch Ciryl Gane at all. That's how I felt. Gane was just getting warmed up. Gane's hands were down, bouncing around all over the place. One-trick pony." These comments from Jones add a new layer of intrigue to an already complicated heavyweight landscape. The former champion himself is eyeing a potential return to the octagon, specifically targeting a spot on the coveted White House card next year, despite UFC CEO Dana White's current reluctance to book him as the headliner. Jones's confident belief that he can change White's mind suggests he still sees a path back to the top of the division he once ruled. In the meantime, with Aspinall's sideline for the foreseeable future and a champion versus Gane rematch looming on the distant horizon, the division finds itself in a bizarre holding pattern, its immediate future clouded by injury, criticism, and the long shadow of a retired king who clearly still has a great deal to say.
In a monumental shift for the sport, the UFC's landmark move from ESPN to Paramount in January 2026 will officially mark the end of the pay-per-view model that has defined its biggest events for decades. The new 7-year, $7.7 billion broadcasting agreement will see all numbered UFC events, including the high-profile cards that were previously sold separately, included as part of a standard Paramount Plus subscription at no additional cost. While this is a clear win for fans who currently pay $79.99 per PPV, it raises significant questions about fighter compensation. Top-tier athletes, particularly champions and superstars like Conor McGregor, have historically earned a substantial portion of their income from back-end PPV bonuses, which kick in once sales cross a certain threshold. This revenue stream will disappear under the new model. Addressing these concerns directly, Lawrence Epstein, the UFC's Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, confirmed that the promotion is already taking steps to adjust the pay structure for its premium athletes. Quote, "On the fighter pay question, there's going to be some changes to the structure of our deals, in particular with our premium athletes that have a percentage of their compensation based on pay-per-view sales," unquote, Epstein stated during the TKO Group Holdings quarterly financial call. Quote, "That being said, our team is already in the process of working out those deals," unquote. This transition places a particular urgency on finalizing contracts for the inaugural Paramount event. UFC CEO Dana White has emphasized the importance of a blockbuster card to launch the new partnership, which will likely feature multiple title fights. The athletes in those bouts will be among the first to compete under the new financial terms. Regarding overall fighter pay, Epstein reiterated a previous commitment from White that athletes should expect to see an increase, though he did not provide specific figures. He framed the increase as being in line with the company's historical financial margins, suggesting that while fighter pay will rise, it will not dramatically alter the UFC's highly profitable business model. The Paramount deal represents a massive revenue increase for the promotion, effectively doubling its previous broadcast revenue from ESPN. Quote, "As Dana White said, there's going to be an increase in fighter pay. There's no doubt about that. We feel like it's going to be in line with what will be consistent with the margins that we've maintained over the last several years," unquote. As the industry watches closely, the UFC's success in navigating this historic transition, satisfying its fan base with a more accessible product while fairly compensating the fighters who drive its success, will define its new era under the Paramount banner.
The UFC's first major event of the new year is poised to deliver a main event that is as compelling for its stylistic clash as it is for its high-stakes implications in the middleweight division. After weeks of speculation and public call-outs, a bout between former champion Sean Strickland and the surging contender Anthony Fluffy Hernandez is officially in the works, targeted to headline a UFC Fight Night on Paramount in early January. Standing across from him will be Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, a fighter who has quietly assembled one of the most impressive and terrifying resumes in the division. Currently riding a 5-fight win streak, Hernandez has evolved from a mere prospect into a bona fide nightmare for his opponents. His ascent was catapulted into the mainstream by his stunning, dominant performance against the highly touted Roman Dolidze, whom he utterly dismantled before securing a submission victory. Hernandez embodies the modern grind of mixed martial arts. He possesses an unshakable cardio, a suffocating wrestling game, and a jiu-jitsu arsenal that is both opportunistic and ruthless. He doesn't just win fights, he drowns his opponents in a relentless storm of pressure, whether on the feet or on the ground. The stylistic narrative writes itself. Strickland will look to impose his will with a steady diet of piston-like jabs and straight right hands, aiming to keep the fight upright and in the center of the octagon where he is most comfortable. His entire game is built on forward movement and making his opponents uncomfortable in a pure striking battle. Hernandez, conversely, will undoubtedly look to close the distance, test Strickland's takedown defense, and drag the former champion into the deep waters of grappling exchanges, where his relentless pace and submission hunting have broken so many before. This main event is more than just a fight. It's a litmus test. For Strickland, it's a test of his ability to fend off the new wave of elite grapplers and remain at the top of the heap. For Hernandez, it's the ultimate validation, a chance to prove that his hype is warranted by handing a former champion his third consecutive loss and launching himself directly into the title conversation. When the cage door locks in January, fans will be treated to a quintessential striker versus grappler battle, with the future trajectory of the UFC's middleweight division hanging in the balance.
In a rare pre-fight declaration, former middleweight king Israel Adesanya has thrown his support behind welterweight champion Della Maddalena, suggesting the Australian phenom holds a unique key to dethroning the legendary lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. As Makhachev moves up in weight for a blockbuster title challenge, the narrative has been dominated by one question: can anyone stop his suffocating grappling game? According to Adesanya, not only can Maddalena stop it, but he might just force the fight into a realm where Makhachev is dangerously out of his depth. During a deep dive on his YouTube channel, Adesanya broke down the stylistic clash with the eye of a seasoned tactician. He zeroed in on Maddalena's almost supernatural ability to refuse being controlled on the canvas. "I don't think he can keep you down," Adesanya stated, painting a vivid picture of Maddalena's defensive grappling. "Even if you hit the ground, it's like you have this urgency. The floor is lava. You don't rest there."
He highlighted Maddalena's active butterfly guard and relentless scrambling, arguing that Makhachev would find it nearly impossible to establish the static, draining control that has broken so many other opponents. But the real danger, in Adesanya's view, lies in what happens when the fight stays standing. His voice lit up with excitement as he discussed Maddalena's stand-up prowess. "On the feet, I might be biased, but I love these things," he said, raising his fists. "Throw some leg kicks, but for me, it's the body shot. When you stalk people, when you get to mid-range and you're not scared to get hit, that's when you're dangerous." This analysis points to a core vulnerability in Makhachev's pressure-based stand-up. Maddalena's stoic composure and punishing body attack could dismantle the lightweight king's rhythm and drain the gas tank needed for relentless takedown attempts. Adesanya's confidence is unwavering, echoing a prediction he made months prior, that Maddalena's focus and power would lead to a knockout. This belief is clearly shared by the champion himself, who has issued a cold, calculated warning to his challenger. Maddalena revealed that he sees Makhachev's greatest strength as a potential trap. In his mind, he'll be thinking, "Take me down, hold me down, and submit me," Maddalena told Fox Sports Australia. "So I think in the grappling, I will be able to surprise him." His training with grappling wizard Craig Jones has forged a defensive system designed not just to survive, but to create chaos and opportunities to return to the feet. The right techniques for his A-game will throw him off a bit, he added, hinting at a game plan built on disruption and reversal. Maddalena's final statement was a promise that turns the conventional wisdom of the fight on its head. "I believe we will spend a lot of this fight on the feet." This isn't mere bravado, it's a strategic forecast from a champion who is supremely confident in his ability to dictate the terms of the battle. For Islam Makhachev, this is a clear warning that the welterweight title will be defended in a firefight, and for the fans, it's a guarantee that the champion plans to meet the greatest challenge of his career, not with caution, but with controlled and devastating aggression.
In the often predictable world of high-level mixed martial arts, where training regimens are scientifically calibrated and public personas are carefully managed, UFC star Jiri Prochazka stands apart as a genuine enigma. He is a throwback to an older, more primal school of combat, a philosopher warrior whose methods are as bizarre and intense as the fighting style that made him a former light heavyweight champion. This unique approach was on full display in his recent return to form, a brutal and chaotic knockout victory over Khalil Rountree Jr. at UFC 320 that has once again thrust his name into the forefront of the title picture at 205 pounds. This hard-earned victory marked the first time Prochazka has strung together back-to-back wins since 2022, effectively re-establishing him as a top contender and potentially setting the stage for a monumental trilogy fight against the current champion, Alex Pereira. To prepare for such a daunting challenge, there is little doubt that The Last Samurai will delve back into his unique bag of psychological and physical trials, crafting a new, extreme training method designed to push his mind and body beyond conventional limits in pursuit of victory. Jiri's preparation is legendary and defies modern MMA orthodoxy. It is well documented that following key fights, he has voluntarily sealed himself inside a pitch-black room for days on end, abstaining from food and water in a radical test of his mental fortitude and spirit. But perhaps an even more staggering example of his dedication came to light in a recent conversation with fellow great Demetrius Johnson. In that interview, Jiri calmly revealed that he once engaged in a continuous 24-hour training session, doing nothing but drilling the most fundamental striking combinations over and over again. "Once, I did 24 hours just 1-2, 1-2-3, 1-2, 1-2-3. For 24 hours, I did that," he stated. When questioned about the physical toll of such a marathon, he offered a glimpse into his philosophy, explaining, "Man, when you have a reason, everything will work," suggesting that a higher purpose can transcend mere physical pain and exhaustion.
While his entire focus seems locked on a third, decisive battle with Pereira, the future of the light heavyweight division remains fluid. Jiri has also expressed interest in a potential vacant title fight, and scenario popularized by commentator Joe Rogan. This possibility hinges entirely on the ambitions of Pereira himself, who is currently flirting with a historic move up to the heavyweight division for a super fight against Jon Jones. Whatever path unfolds, one thing is certain: Jiri will approach it with a mindset and a training regimen unlike any other fighter in the sport, forever chasing enlightenment through extreme discipline as he seeks to once again reclaim UFC gold.
The narrative surrounding a fighter's loss is often simple, a story of one man's will overcoming another's, of a perfectly placed punch or a masterfully executed submission. But for Reinier de Ridder, the story of his shocking TKO defeat at UFC Vancouver, a loss that saw his corner throw in the towel as he sat exhausted on his stool, was missing a crucial and deeply troubling chapter. In the weeks since Brendan Allen pulled off the upset, de Ridder had been circumspect, offering little explanation for a performance where he appeared a ghost of the dominant contender many believed was on the cusp of a title shot. Now the Dutchman has pulled back the curtain, revealing that his fight in Vancouver was not a solitary battle against the single opponent, but a desperate, draining struggle against his own failing body. The admission came during a lengthy and introspective conversation with Submission Radio, where the typically confident de Ridder traded his usual bravado for a tone of sobering vulnerability. "I still feel like when I walk upstairs, I'm out of breath," he confessed. A startling statement for a world-class athlete weeks removed from competition. This wasn't merely the lingering fatigue of a hard fight. It was the symptom of a deeper, systemic issue. He revealed that a battery of blood work conducted in the aftermath of the event had provided disturbing, if somewhat clarifying, data. "There's a lot of information coming back from the blood work," de Ridder explained, carefully choosing his words. "I don't want to be too specific because then I won't get a rematch, but there's some physical stuff that's wrong, and I'm going to see if I can fix all of this before I come back." This shadow, it turns out, has been following him. In a revealing moment, de Ridder connected his physical collapse in Vancouver to his previous devastating knockout loss to Anatoly Malinkin, a result that had similarly stunned the combat sports world. "It's something I've struggled with in the past with the Anatoly Malinkin fight, and I thought I fixed it, but apparently I didn't," he admitted. This confession paints his recent setbacks in an entirely new light, suggesting that his performances were not a true reflection of his skill or heart, but a body that was fundamentally failing him under the immense duress of elite competition. The victory he now seeks is not in a locked cage, but in a doctor's office and a laboratory, in piecing together the complex puzzle of his own physiology. The path forward is now one of patience, a virtue often at odds with the relentless drive of a top-tier fighter. De Ridder finds himself torn between the burning desire to immediately avenge his loss and the pragmatic necessity of a full and proper recovery. "It's hard to take time off because I want to get back in there as soon as possible," he said, acknowledging the internal conflict. His comment about looking for a new obsession, delivered with a rueful laugh, speaks volumes about the void left by forced inactivity. For a man whose life is defined by the rhythm of training camps and the pursuit of a championship, this unplanned hiatus is its own form of punishment. Consequently, any timeline for his return has been completely erased. While the UFC and its fans may hope for a swift comeback, a realistic assessment suggests that the Octagon will not see Reinier de Ridder again until next summer at the very earliest, as he embarks on the most important fight of his career, the fight for his own health.